we're gonna be building some big houses today. Somebody mentioned this in my comment section recently, and I immediately started doing research on the topic because I find this so interesting, especially since nowadays the word billionaire is just tossed around nonchalantly, it seems. The old versus new money lifestyles. What do they even mean? What does it look like? Well, today we are gonna be building some old versus new money mansions in The Sims 4 to try and capture those aesthetics. But first, let's dive into analyzing what the terms actually mean. And by the way, this is obviously a generalization. I don't mean to offend the rich people. Not everyone with new money or old money will act exactly within these stereotypes, but there are definitely trends that tend to occur within these groups. So, starting with old money refers to generational wealth. The money has been passed down through the family for decades, centuries even. Families are passing down their estates, their expensive art, their assets. They may not be flashing their money around. They favor the quiet luxury aesthetic and quality over quantity. They might focus more on long-term financial stability, and because the money has been around for such a long time, they might favor more classic styles. Their decor and selections might be elegant and refined based on years of investing in only the most luxurious, high-quality pieces. Whereas new money refers to wealth that has been acquired recently, usually earned within a single generation. This could be someone who came from having not a lot of money at all to start to suddenly earning or winning a huge fortune. These are usually the self-made success stories of people who made it big, whether that's through sports and entertainment, entrepreneurship, innovation, technology, or maybe even through the lottery. And because they've never lived with this wealth before, they may adapt to the live fast mentality, thus living a more bold and modern lifestyle. They might be more likely to flaunt their money because they're proud of it. They've likely worked their way up to the top in some regard and they want to show it off. So we're going to be starting off with old money, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to build this today. What about Tartosa? There's a really nice center lot that I like to build on. It's overlooking the water. There are mountains in the background. We'll build our old money mansion here, and today we're going to go piece by piece. You may have seen me do this before when building big homes, because I just find this method to be a lot easier. So I'm actually starting off right here with a flooring piece for the entry. I want both of these to have very elaborate entryways. So this is actually going to be a bridge. I'm going to add some flooring on there, and then I'm going to take my terrain tool and we're just going to lower this down for now. I think I want most of this to be water, so I'm just going to bring it back to about here, and we'll do the same thing on both sides. But I want to make sure that we keep this part flat so that I can add flooring there, and Sims will still be able to walk across. Now we can fill both sides up with water. I probably shouldn't flood the place already. And I'm going to add a fence on there. This one is from Discover University. By the way, we're only going to do exteriors today. We'll furnish the interiors of both these mansions in the next video. And usually when I do these opposite sort of builds, I'll make townhouses or apartments. But for this one, we had to go big. I could not do old versus new money, like tiny homes. I wanted it to be big and luxurious. So we'll do outside of both mansions today, inside later this week. So right now I've just built a room. I'm going to delete the ceiling, and I changed everything to fences so that I could easily just grab this and raise it up. This way we can connect the two. I'm adding these old stairs from the Castle Estate kit. Everything we're going to do for this mansion is going to look old. Like I said, this is a family estate that has been passed down for years. It'll be obviously well maintained, but it's going to be an older looking house. So we've got our one set of stairs. I'm going to actually add grass and just continue along our walkway so that when we want to add landscaping, we can. But I want to keep going more levels up. So now we have to add platforms. Since we already used the foundation, we can't do it again. But we'll add another staircase here. We'll extend that to the back, and I'll have to connect it onto the sides as well. There's some matching platform paint that matches our foundation paint, and then just for fun, we'll do another layer. So I'll raise this up even more. I'll add more stairs, and then I'll extend the platforms around again. I'm also adding a little bit of variation in the flooring with this flagstone. I think it just adds a tiny extra detail, and I'm gonna go in with some hedged fencing. Let's actually landscape this quickly. So now that we've got this entry leading up, our house is going to be up on a bigger platform. So if I want to go in and add trees at the front, they're not going to be covering the house. I'm actually going to add quite a bit going on here so that when we start with our shell, we'll have this front bit done already. Like, I want to add these are from Get Together. We could add some of these bigger shrubs just to hide any imperfections in the build. I want to add little fountains and seating out front. This is almost going to be like our courtyard. For seating out here, we can use these old stone, like carved benches from Life and Death. And with all the landscaping so far, this is is how our entryway is looking. Okay, now we're gonna start building the actual house, and remember, we are building on a complete platform foundation, meaning whenever I build the first floor, it's gonna sink into the platform, but that's actually fine with me because I wanted to build an elaborate basement in this house anyway. Like, I want to build secret tunnels under this house. I want to build vaults, like bunkers underground. So that's what this level down here will be. This is a basement level right here. Then we have our main floor and our top floor. But we can disguise our bottom floor with this wallpaper, which matches our foundation paint. And we should be able to get trim on there. Yeah, so we can make this look like a full-blown foundation. But since we have the opportunity, I'm going to add my own like trim to this. I've narrowed this slightly and added a bump out on the front. And I think I want to use a cobblestone wallpaper. And like I said, we're going bit by bit. So I'm actually going to roof this. We're going to fully add windows and everything else that we plan on using before we move on to the next part of the home. So I'm going to use a thick roof trim. The roof paint I'm going to use today might be from Horse Ranch. We'll use a nice trim from Vampires. And whenever I go for this sort of build, I really like the window and door options we have from Discover University. So I'm going to add one of those windows up top. We could add a matching balcony underneath. And then my doors, I'm going to use these. But the main floor, we actually have the tallest wall height. So we get to use this one. But I added this bump out here so that I could add the door inside it. And another random thing I want from the Sims 4 is more archways like this one. Like more big, grand, just plain archways. Because I am always resorting to this stone one, but we could for sure use more. But okay, this is our main starting point. It looks so cute. It looks like a scary witch cottage right now or something, but I'm vibing with it. Let's move on. Let's do the next part. So I'm gonna carry this over. It's gonna be super frustrating because every time I add a floor, we're gonna have to go down and do it in the basement, but our secret basement will be worth it. I do think I will change my wallpaper slightly here. I'll add some different Discover University windows, and I'm just gonna actually keep bringing this over this way. I think we're only gonna do one more little side part here before we do the left side. So I'm just gonna see what the variation of these windows looks like. I'm hoping it won't be too much, but I am gonna start to roof this section. This time I'm using a hipped roof, and I'm gonna raise it up just so that it matches the height of the other roof. We're gonna bring over the roof paint. I'm gonna copy and paste this other roof piece that I have, and we'll add a smaller Discover University window. Maybe I can add some of my balconies. And then for one final addition, we're gonna do one big rectangle over to this side. So far it's really just been adding rectangles beside each other. So maybe we can add a little extra something. Like maybe I'll add a tower. I'll move it over so it's not covering those windows so much. Then we'll bring over our roofing again, and you can kind of see how this is starting to come together. This is way more of a trust the process method as opposed to doing like the entire shell first and then doing the windows and kind of following, you know, that sort of order of operations. But this way you can kind of take your time. It's not as overwhelming when approaching a big mansion, and you can make sure you like each piece before moving on. I'm actually just gonna build out a deck right here, just extend that bottom bit, and I'm gonna start adding columns on all of my corners. We can add another fountain right out front. I'm adding some dormer details from Discover University. Behind that, I'm gonna add this tower from my wedding stories. I've added a couple chimneys up here, and I also added these points for the spires from Life and Death. Okay, so far we have half of our old money mansion. We still have to do the entire left side, but I want to make sure I leave room for activities out here too. Okay, let's start building the other side. I'm currently trying to get concert tickets for something that I really want to go to. I have like 20 minutes until they go on the pre-sale, and I'm kind of freaking out, I'm not gonna lie. I've set like 20 reminders on my phone, so may need to abort this mission in 20 minutes. But until then, I'm just gonna bring this over. I don't want it to be completely symmetrical. I'm actually gonna change these up from the windows on the other side. And then for this one, we'll just do one final big section, just bringing it across like this. I'll extend my roof all the way over. We'll add another big roofing piece right here. And then maybe this time, instead of the tower, I'm just gonna bring out a bump out like this. We'll bring it all the way up. It is kind of annoying doing my foundation like this, but I think it's worth it just for the extra trim down there. I'm gonna section this part off with a Castle Estate Kit fence. And just to change up the shape, I'm gonna also bring this out like this. I'll add some fencing here. This could be a balcony. I'm gonna add some more fencing up top like this. And then we'll add some columns here, and it'll just be an extra feature at the front. We'll bring along all of our details like the dormers. I'll add another tower right here. And on houses this big, I don't mind adding multiple chimneys. Okay, so this is what the outside of our old money mansion looks like so far. It is huge. I did all of the landscaping at the front. front, I added in these lampposts here from cats and dogs. I added some planty window boxes. We have some nights guarding the front door. So here's the front, and then I also finished off the back. It looks like an entire village back here. It's not done yet. I still have to do more landscaping and stuff, but each of these houses look like little townhouses pushed together. So we have tons of space on these balconies. I want to start adding our skill items. And for one of the areas, I was trying to think of what old money hobbies I wanted to include. And I was thinking, what if we did a tennis court? We don't have tennis in The Sims 4. It's not going to be a functional item, but we could turn it into something even if it's not tennis that they're playing. So we need some green flooring, and we'll just section off this part of the patio. Then we're going to take some pool lights from Spa Day, and I'm going to use the grid to build out our tennis court. I have never played tennis. I feel like it would be a sport that I'm not particularly good at, and I don't know why this one to me was just like an old money kind of thing. Okay, we have that first outline. I'm gonna bring this way. I have a reference I'm looking at, by the way. I'm not just doing this from memory. Then we need the line down the center. We need 2 more lines here, and then also right down the center like this. I think that's looking pretty good. And then for the net in the center, I was thinking about just adding a fence. Maybe this one looks kind of good. We'll add some greenery back here. And looking at this made me think of the ping pong tables from Discovery University, which is the complete opposite vibe that I'm going for. But I think it would be really fun if in this house we had like a rebel son or something, or even like a frat boy sort of a son who's always throwing parties here or just like causing trouble. I feel like that would be a fun little twist. So tennis court has been turned into a pong tournament. I'm also adding these overlooking. I think they just look nice here. We'll add some landscaping beside them. Everything I'm adding is like clean cut. I don't want it to look too overgrown. Another skill item I was thinking was a chess table. So we'll add one here in the middle. I want some nice chairs beside. These are from Life and Death. We'll add some seating out here. Maybe we can also add a telescope, and we'll add a rug. Also from Romantic Garden, I wanted to use this item, and I was wondering if it would be cute if we added 2 and made this sort of like half circle, like Pac-Man shaped thing, because then Sims could go in there and we could add a small bench. We'll add some stones in there and a little pathway leading in, so that could just be a cute romantic spot. And on the other side, I'm gonna add the wishing well. This is a really cool item in The Sims 4 actually, because your Sims can use it to wish for fortunes. So maybe they have this like deal going on with the wishing well, and that's how the family has stayed so rich throughout the years. What other kind of hobbies could we put out here? Ooh, definitely a piano. All right, so what if we use this piano? We'll put it right here, and this could be like an afternoon tea spot. I'll add some other instruments so they could hire performers for them. It'll be like a high tea sort of thing. We'll get a microphone. So this is the performers spot. And then over here is where we can have tea. I'll add some candles on each table and maybe some flowers for decor. And then for our tea, we could add one of the tables from My Wedding Stories. We could use this. I think it's actually for gravy. Yeah, the gravy fountain stand. It just kind of looks like those tiered plates you get when you go to high tea. So we'll have the gravy thing, and then we'll also have our teapot over to this side. So that's a whole section over here where we can host a tea party. And then along in the back here, I just have this. Maybe here we could add a bar with some fancy chairs. We could add more of the nights back here. We could maybe add like an easel outside, but I feel like a lot of their skill rooms and stuff will be hidden away inside. Like I can see us having an indoor pool and maybe a big indoor gym. I don't want to put it all on display back here. All right, so our old money mansion is complete. So far, we know we're gonna have secrets going on in the basement. Traits of Sims who live here could be proper, neat, self-absorbed, except for the rebel son. So let's go build the new money mansion. And for that one, we're heading to Del Sol Valley. I think we'll build this on the Ward residence. This one's gonna be nice and high up. We have a skyline view. Everybody down in that city is gonna be able to look up and see this house. So starting again with our entry, and this time we're gonna go a lot more modern yet still very luxurious. I'm using a floor piece that I'm gonna raise up at first. We'll add some Get Famous marble stairs on it. Then I'm gonna extend this back, and I'm gonna start building my platforms on top of that. So I'm gonna take that and raise it up by like 5 ticks. Maybe I'll actually bring it back a tiny bit, then I'll add my stairs on there again. But then we're gonna pivot, and I'm gonna bring my flooring this way. I'll bring my platform along, and then we'll build more platforms on top of that, again going up by like 5 ticks. I need to leave some room for my stairs, and then we'll just add those on again. But I'm already thinking that in between here, I want to add something special. I'm thinking we add a pool, just kind of coming out like this, and then we can add some fountains in it, so it's already going to be setting the stage. Before moving on from this section though, I'm gonna add some grass, just like lining the walkways. I've been doing this a lot lately, just adding grass onto foundation pieces or flooring pieces, not just relying on the actual ground, so that I can add trees and plants and stuff anywhere that I want. I want to add some base game fencing going along with the matching railings, but for some reason I can't add my fence like further than this gap. So Get Famous has this piece. I don't know what it is. It's just like this little sculpture, so I'm gonna stick that in between any of the spots that have the gap. But that actually looks really pretty. So I think I'm gonna bring those along as we go everywhere. We'll continue on with our landscaping. I'm choosing more of like the succulent styles. It's definitely a different landscape here than in Tartosa, where everything was more full. And I'm gonna raise up these lights. These are from Dine Out. I'm just gonna stick them on this wall facing the pool. And I just wanna see what height we're at for our platforms. If I place my room here, I'm not gonna be able to connect it because they're at different heights, but I can raise this up so it meets the foundation and connect it on that way. And then I just have to add stairs leading up on top of that floor. And then we won't actually have to worry about any of the platforms like we did in the last build, because all of our platforms are taken care of here. And coming onto this floor is just gonna be flat ground. It'll be a lot easier. So this down here is just gonna be a regular floor. I'm gonna use windows from Romantic Garden. I might also add a trim up there. That might look pretty. Oh, this is gonna be a nice house. We already warmed up with the other one, so I feel like the click moment or like the aha moment is gonna happen a lot sooner with this. We'll wrap some flooring going this way. We could do another entry to the side. I think I want this part to be taller, and then we could do another big side section like this. I'm gonna start using just white wallpaper, probably all over the entire thing, and I'm gonna be roofing this with platforms. So I'm gonna bring that over. So we have this overhang. We'll add some trim on top of it so it doesn't look so weird, and we'll add our platform paint. I'm also gonna add platforms here, and we'll raise them up just to roof this section. And then I wanted to add columns, but I think instead we're gonna use this. If you've ever seen me do any of my expensive mansion builds in The Sims 4, I will probably always use this item because it's 3,000 simoleons. It's basically a giant building block, and today we're using it for our columns. I don't think I'm gonna use it everywhere, just anywhere that I want a little extra something, like here at the entry. And if it's gonna be sticking inside the house a little bit, that's okay. So that's gonna be holding up the entry. We'll get a big glass door leading in. We'll do eco lifestyle windows up top, and I'll also add them on the sides. And then I was thinking this section gives us the perfect opportunity to hang a chandelier. I love this one from Spa Day, but what if we made it bigger and raised it all the way up? It's gonna be hiding kind of in the ceiling, but that looks pretty. It's flashy. We've spent huge money on a massive chandelier right at the front of our house. And I feel like the family that's gonna live here is gonna be a little more wild. They're gonna be adventurous, bold. Maybe the rebel son that lives in the old money household has like fallen for someone in the new money household, and that's why they're rebelling. Maybe the families don't get along. Like there could be a rivalry happening. I love that idea. So I'm just building a seating area right at the front. These chairs I'm adding are from Spa Day, and I really like the look of this couch from Eco Lifestyle here. I'm also adding these benches at the front. They're from City Living. I don't really use these too often. I actually don't really build in a modern style all that often because I find it really challenging. However, this one today is looking pretty good. I think we're on the right track so far. So I'm gonna also add a door right over on this side. This door is from Spa Day. I'm just gonna bring down the same windows that I've been using, but I want to start expanding our house this way. And one thing I had in mind that I really wanted to include was a massive garage with cars on display, like a ton of cars. And I even want them to be on display on the second floor. So what I'm gonna actually do is build some like long one tile rectangles, and I'm gonna change this floor to fencing for now. So it's gonna look like that. And then underneath we can add a bunch of cars. We'll just delete the fence now that we got rid of the wall. For the driveway to get the cars up there, we're gonna use a half gabled roof piece. We'll add that on here and stretch it across. And then we're gonna lower it and bring it out, and just keep doing that until we can bring out the adjusters, like these arrows right here. And then holding Alt on my keyboard, I'm just gonna adjust it until that ramp hits the top of that ledge. Then we just have to go in and change our roof paint. I'm gonna add some giant windows here, so we're gonna see the cars on the second floor. I'll add in again my platform roofing at a different height. I think that's like the full extent of the shell that I'm gonna do, so this is how our shells turned out. I'm gonna open up debug using our cheat, so bb.show hidden objects and bb.show live edit objects, and now we can search through for our cars. So I'm gonna add in a bunch of them. I also have a filter on my game which will change a lot of the base game cars to be a different color, so I'm gonna have like these pink and pastel colored cars. So we'll just add a bunch of them in there, but then up top top. I think I'll split this so it's not going to be fully reserved for cars. And I'm going to add windows on the inside and the outside of this building. So you'll still be able to see all the way through to the back. But this is where we can put a couple cars on display. And I'll add some lights in here. Maybe we can even add more chandeliers, like the spade ones, so they're visible again from the outside. So far it looks like that. I'm even going to add these slender windows on like the one tile room, and maybe in there we can turn it into, again, like a fountain or something. So I've turned it into a pool, and I'll add the water emitters in there. So from the outside, hopefully we'll be able to see them. Let's see in live mode. Oh yeah, you can see them. That looks so cool. I was also playing around with these lights. They're from City Living, and I was trying to see if they would look good on the outside too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep adding those inside. And then for this spot right here, Get Together has this structure. I don't really know what it's for. Maybe traffic, or I literally don't know. So I'm just gonna use it as decor. I like to attach them onto my buildings sometimes because it just makes this interesting structure. And this will be lining the door, so it'll look like that leading to the entryway. This house so far is way more fun to build because I feel like I can just go as extra as possible. Like the old money house is definitely more reserved, but this one, I feel like everything is on the table. Like I'm adding this spade waterfall right here. So that's just gonna be coming down right when you're walking up to the entryway. And I'm just gonna start using some base game fencing to carve out some spots for more landscaping. So like we can do it at this spot here. And then this time I'll just add dirt flooring. And by the way, to get like a triangle floor piece instead of a full square, all you have to do is press Control F on your keyboard. I obviously can't just hold Shift to fill in this spot since it's not technically a floor. So that's how you're gonna get flooring into those little spots. I'm gonna shrink down this island living palm tree for the front. Actually, let's add 2 of them. I'm adding some hedges right here just to hide those roofing edges. So far the front is looking pretty good. I like how so far there's a lot going on. But let's start working on the back. I think I'm gonna add like a gate, and I'll bring this all the way around the back. So it's gonna close off the entire backyard. I'll bring it up to like maybe here. And using some flooring, I'm just gonna extend this back part, and this is where we can add a pool. I want the pool to be pretty big. And then I was picturing a deck coming over top. I've actually just extended this over a tiny bit more so we have some more room. Ooh, actually, let's use the greenhouse kit doors. We'll continue on with our windows from Eco Lifestyle. I've already added some of those lights in the corners, so we'll see them through the window. And then I really liked those romantic garden windows, so I'm gonna add those along the bottom. To hold this up, I'm gonna use more of those spade pillars. And then underneath it, we're gonna add some more chandeliers. And I've also been adding these from Get Famous on a lot of my corners. I just like the way that they look. It adds a little something extra. So far, this is our pool area. I think we'll add something obnoxious up top. Like I was picturing a DJ booth and maybe one of those dance floors that you can see through the floor. Yeah, like this one. This house is gonna be fun. For this one, for any basement, I was picturing something just stupid, like a bowling alley or a bubble lounge or like a rock climbing room. Something just completely like out of left field. I'm adding in the final windows, and we'll finish off these balconies. I was thinking like a hot tub. We can just add that here in the corner. Should we add a jet ski in the pool? No, that is just obnoxious. Does that work? Wait, can she ride this jet ski? Oh my gosh, I think she can. Do not get on that. Do not get on that, Judith. She can ride the jet ski in the pool. No, it kind of worked, but also now she's sort of glitching out. Let me try one more time. Yeah, she can get on it, but I don't think she can go anywhere. Maybe she can, right here. Oh my gosh, it works. This is so funny. No, this is what not to do with your money, but this is so funny to me. Okay, that is enough of that. I'm leaving that in the pool. All right, what else? We'll add a bar up here. I'll add some chairs. We can start working on all of our connecting pathways. And I need some gates for back here. I think I'm going to use these ones from base game, and I'll add the same one at the front. I think I'll add in another fountain right here with some more water emitters. I think we can fit a basketball hoop maybe. If I bring this back a tiny bit more, we can definitely fit that. I can add one more seating area underneath the bar. We can add the fire pit coffee table. We can add a barbecue, also with a mini fridge outside. And I guess just to fill the space, I can add some umbrella tables right here. All right, so this is the back of our new money mansion. I gotta say, I like the style of the old one better, but this one, like I said, modern builds are really not my thing, but this this build, this might have changed my mind. This looks like a luxury resort. It's so pretty with all the fountains going off. It's exactly what I pictured when I was talking about a new money, showing it off sort of mansion. So let me know what you guys think. Tell me which one is your favorite so far, and let me know any ideas you want to see on the interiors. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.